Hi, this is Dr. Sridhar back to you with another video session on how to calculate the speed of a DC motor. And because the DC motors are one of the important device in the industry to control various flow of actions involved in the industry, and this DC motors is widely used in various domestic applications. Not only that, in the railways also these DC motors are widely used. And the one of the important thing is how we can control the speed of the DC motor, because without controlling the speed, this is not a suitable device and not advisable used in industries. So that's why in today's video session, let us talk some of the briefly related parameters with the speed control of DC motor. The expression for back EMF developed in the armature of a DC motor is given as, so we know that what could be the back EMF equation. So back EMF equation and which is nothing but it is also a voltage generated in the generator. That is the voltage induced EMF expression, which is nothing but E is equal to pi P n by 60 into Z by A. So this is the equation here. So pi P n by 60 into Z by A is the voltage generated in the generator, which is also equal to the back EMF expression of a DC motor. And we also know that in a DC motor, E is nothing but that back EMF, it will be equal to the supply voltage minus IRA. So it is very clear that now see, we are not talking about the generator. In the motor, what could be the EMF expression in terms of the supply voltage and the voltage drop? Here this V is nothing but supply voltage minus armature drop, it will be the induced EMF E. So E is equal to V minus IA RA. So what is this E here? This E is nothing but pi P n by 60 into Z by A. Just now also we have discussed this is equal to V minus IA RA. Now in this expression, for a particular machine, the number of poles will remain same and number of armature conductors will also remain same. Means it won't change by changing some of the loading conditions or something else, because as long as that same machine, if you are taking, so for that particular machine, number of magnetic poles, number of armature conductors will, and along with this, A will also remain same, number of armature parallel paths. Because we are not going to change the internal structure of the DC generator as long as that particular movement. Now for a particular DC machine, the number of magnetic poles, number of armature conductors, number of parallel paths, armature parallel paths remain same. So this total left side expression can be represented as this P into Z by A into 60. Pz by 60A can be taken as a constant K, and the remaining variables are nothing but the magnetic flux pi. So pi is nothing but, why I am saying this flux is a variable parameter means, if the load changes, then line current will change. If the line current will change, armature current also changes, and armature current changes means flux will also change. And whenever due to some internal variations, if there is a change of shunt current, then associated flux will also vary. So like this, now flux is nothing but it is a constant parameter, it is a variable parameter. And speed, the speed is also depends on the load. The load is decreased, then proportional to that speed will be increased. If the load on the motor increases, then speed will be decreased. So there is chance of variations in the speed we can observe during running conditions. So that's why except flux and the speed, the remaining parameters can be assumed as a constant value. So K into pi into N, which is nothing but V minus IA into RA. So we require speed here. So approximately the speed can be represented as V minus IA RA by K into pi. So anyhow, either it is in the numerator or denominator, constant is constant. So speed is equal to V minus IA RA by K into pi. So where K is nothing but it is a constant of proportionality and equal to, just now also we have discussed, P into Z by 60A. Now in the above expression, it is very clear that speed can be varied. Now the speed, if you want to vary, speed is a function of voltage, speed is function of a armature. This total loop is nothing but parameters associated with the armature, and this flux pi is nothing but it is something related to the field coils or field or shunt fields. So the speed is nothing but it depends on the supply voltage. It also depends on the armature circuit. It also depends on the field circuit. Now in the armature circuit, if IA increases or decreases, proportional to that, speed will also vary. If RA increases or decreases, speed will also vary. And flux increases or decreases, proportional to that, speed will also vary. So broadly, the speed is nothing but it is a function of three parameters, that is the supply voltage and armature circuit and the field circuit. That is what we are mentioning here. The speed can be varied by varying the applied voltage V, field flux pi, resistance of the armature or parameters associated with the armature circuit. And it is very clear that speed is directly proportional to the supply voltage because N is directly proportional to V minus IRA by K into pi. So speed is directly proportional to the supply voltage. So the speed increases with the increase in the supply voltage and vice versa. If voltage increases, speed also increases. So that because the relation is nothing but N is directly proportional to V. And the speed is inversely proportional to the field flux because N is directly proportional to 1 by pi. So if flux increases, speed decreases. If speed decreases, flux increases. So this could be the relation. And if pi increases, speed decreases. If pi decreases, speed increases. So vice versa, it will be taken place because the relation is nothing but the inversely proportional relations. So speed control means, suppose if you want to control the speed, if you want to regulate the speed based on the application, now there are some of the basic methods are available. Of course, speed is also a function of the supply voltage, but supply voltage in the majority of the cases, it is assumed to be constant. Even though if you want, we can take it. Now there is a method, Watt-Leonard method is there. This is widely used method in the industry. With the help of that, we are going to study the variation of the voltage in proportion to the speed. Now, this is the more specifically in a certain industries, this method is widely used. Now, broadly, there are two more methods are there. The two methods are nothing but by varying the armature parameters or by varying the field parameters. Now, we are going to control the speed of the DC motor. So, that's why this is the armature control method and the field control method. So, speed control is either it can be done manually by the operator or by means of some automatic control devices. That automatic control devices are going to control, are going to regulate. Now, in the field control method, they are going to regulate the IA. So, they are going by connecting some potential dividers or by topping type of rheostats, we can control the IA value. So, proportional to that, the speed will also vary. Similarly, in the field control methods also, there are some rheostats with various studs on it. That is nothing but the variable contacts will be there. So, if the contacts will goes on changing, proportional to that, field resistance will also change. Now, if the field resistance changes, so field current also changes. If the field current changes, so automatically field flux will change. So, like this, we are going to control the speed of the DC motor in the field control method. So, speed control is obtained by any one of the following means, that is field rheostat control of DC shunt motor, because I am talking about the field control method, and field voltage control also. By connecting some potential divider across the field, we can also control the field voltage. And in the armature control of this DC shunt motor, speed control by this method involves in two ways, armature resistance and armature voltage. Anyhow, if the voltage is controlled either in the field or in the armature, proportional to that, some of the internal parameters will also be adjusted. So, ultimately the speed will be changed. So, what are the advantages and disadvantages? Very fine speed control over whole range in both the directions can be achieved in the armature control method, and uniform acceleration is obtained and good speed regulation. This is the speed regulation is one of the very, very important parameter. Means how it will be varied from no load to full load, that matters here. So, based on this, which method is going to provide this one means this is the armature control of DC shunt motor is doing this. So, these are the various advantages, and disadvantages are nothing but if we are going to control armature current means we had to introduce or we had to insert some rheostats in series with the armature. So if the rheostat, if it is inserted proportional to the loading currents, then temperature losses will be there. So unnecessarily, or this insertion of that external resistance to control the speed in series with the armature, it will also create the power losses will be increased. If the power losses increases, means efficiency will becomes very low even at light loads also. So it is a drive produced more noise. So if you want to control by inserting some external resistance in series with the armature, now hissing kind of noise, it will be increased. So it is a costly arrangement, because now something we are going to play with the armature. So if something went wrong, it is not a advisable control method. So that is the reason it is something, because some protection arrangements also we have to take care. So costly arrangement is needed. Floor space is also required more. So these are the few disadvantages and advantages. And one of the important thumb rule you have to remember, that if you want to control the speed above the rated speed, if you want to control the speed above the rated speed, field flux control method is used. If you want to control the speed with below the rated speed, then armature voltage control method is highly used. So this is a brief introduction and how the speed of a DC motor, it will be controlled or regulated. Means this, I hope this video will give a broad sense and how the speed control can be implemented, and what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages, when which method it will be used. Now suppose when this field flux control method is used. So field flux control method, it will be used whenever, if it is required to control the speed above the rated speed, then field flux control method is used. Otherwise, you can directly go for armature voltage control method or armature control, armature resistance control methods. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching this video.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.